Be honest, are you someone that gets super excited about any plan or goal you have that you rush and tell every single person you know in your life, whether that's friends, family, coworkers, the internet, your social media, and post it everywhere, just for you to never finish your goal or maybe never even start it in the first place? Did you lose your motivation? Did you lose your direction, the will to finish it, and then all of a sudden you're left feeling like a failure? And then maybe you also feel like you not only let yourself down, but also everybody else that you also told about your goals. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not the only one because we've all been there. I do it, you do it, we probably all do it. And I'm here to also tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. You do not need to keep continuing this cycle in your life. You don't need to tell everybody everything that's going on in your life and every single goal you have and all your plans, because there is a hidden power in not oversharing. So my advice to you, stop telling everyone your plans until you've already done it.
We all end up just caring too much about everything that does not matter. When you truly get to this level of not caring, it's so freeing. Everything is on the table when it comes to this podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the I Don't Give a Care podcast. If you're new here, this is your host Jessie, and I am so excited for this week's episode. Today we're going to be talking about the power of not oversharing, about how a lot of us get really excited about any goals we have or any plans we have that we rush to tell everybody we know. Tell everybody what we're working on, what we're doing, or what we're planning on doing. That's the key point here, what we're planning on doing. Something you haven't started yet, and you rush to tell people before you even have started the process of going after that goal or that thing that you want to do. You might be sitting there listening like, why can't I tell people about my goals? Or why can't I tell people what I'm working on? And it's not that you can't tell people. It's that some things are better left kept to yourself until you're already doing them. And we're going to get into all of this because I agree. I'm, as someone who is notorious for telling people all about my life and just oversharing and telling everybody every single plan or idea or goal I have, just trust me, I understand what you're thinking. If you're someone that does this and you're like, why can't I? Like, I want people to be involved in my life and know what I'm up to and what I'm doing. And I want to know what other people are up to as well. And over the past few years, if I've learned anything, I've learned that there's power in kind of keeping things to yourself and not telling everybody your business and kind of living a more private life. Not everybody needs to be involved in what you're doing and knowing about what you're working on and what you're going to do. What is oversharing and why do we do it? Oversharing is basically exactly what it says. Oversharing anything that's going on in your life. You are too open about everything happening in your life, about your goals, about your plans, what you're working on, what you're doing. And this could be about anything. It could be fitness goals, health goals, it could be career goals and financial goals, it could be about relationship goals, who you're dating, who you're seeing, it could be literally about anything that has to involve you and you're telling other people. And maybe just maybe you're being a little bit too trusting and assuming everybody has good intentions. And I am so guilty of this because I assume most people have good intentions or just care to hear about those things because I don't know, maybe you're someone that loves to hear about other people's lives and you have good intentions and you want to support people and have their best interest in mind. But again, not everybody always has the best of intentions when it comes to hearing about your life. The reason why a lot of us do this is because, number one, we are excited. Of course, you're going to be excited about your life and everything that's happening in it and things that are going to be happening that you believe in. Why wouldn't you want to tell other people? Why wouldn't you want to share that news with other people? I totally get that. So that's the number one reason, is because we're excited and we're passionate about our life and our plans. Another reason is because we are too trusting. We want to tell everybody. We're just an open book and you just trust everybody with your life. I am so guilty of this. I have wanted to tell everybody every single detail about my life, even when I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just kept some things to myself. Another reason is because you are wanting validation or a second opinion. Everybody in the world has sought validation at least once in their life. If you're saying you've never wanted validation in your life, then you're lying. I'm sorry, but everybody has been there, whether it's from your parents and trying to make them proud and do what they want, or whether it's your friends or someone you're with or someone you're dating, anybody in your life that you want validation from. Or maybe you're not sure of your own life and your own plans and you need that second opinion. You need everybody else's input around you to kind of have that validation to keep going or to go after what you want to do, because you don't know exactly what you want to do or if it's the right path or if it's the right move. Another reason why some people overshare is because maybe it's a coping mechanism. It's kind of just something you've grown to automatically do in conversations. And maybe you were nervous or feeling impulsive. I mean, I've definitely done this many, many times, especially at workplaces where I've overshared with coworkers. I will be trying to make conversation and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I overshared. I shouldn't have told them that. I mean, they're just my coworker. Like, you know what I mean? And we've all been there. Like, once you overshare, there's no going back. So, I mean, it really sucks once you realize you've overshared something. Like, I really want to keep that to myself. I swear I do this all the time. But I have definitely been getting better at this because I realized silence is okay. Like awkward moments are okay. Like they're normal. Like you don't need to fill every moment of silence with just talking about something or talking about yourself. As awkward as you may feel, do not let your nervousness or impulsivity get the best of you and just start oversharing and do that out of a stress response or whatever the hell it is. Like just keep things to yourself. You don't need to be talking all the time, and you don't need to tell everybody your plans or your goals or everything about yourself or what you've been through. Stop and pause and take a deep breath and be like, okay, why am I actually sharing this? Like, do they actually care? I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience as a chronic oversharer and hopefully someone that is not as bad anymore, but I've definitely been bad most of my life. So, okay, I've talked a lot for as long as I can remember. I talk a lot. I can't help it. I can help it. I'm working on it, but yeah, as someone who talks a lot and someone who sometimes feels really awkward during conversations, and I always feel like I need to fill the silence. I always feel like I want people to kind of trust me and think I'm relatable. I don't know why. I don't know. I've mentioned this before, but I used to be a huge people pleaser. So I think with that, I would kind of always try to make other people feel comfortable by kind of opening up about myself and kind of laying all my cards on the table, like telling people everything about myself or what I'm doing or what I want to do. Another thing is I'm also very trusting, overly trusting of people to the point where I've been screwed over a lot now in my life by whoever it's been. Like I've realized I was way too trusting a lot of those years of my life, and I just always assumed people had good intentions. So I definitely learned the hard way. Since a lot of those things have happened, I've definitely learned to keep more things to myself. I do not need to tell everybody about myself and what I've been through and what I'm working on and what I'm doing. And I've learned that the hard way because not everybody had my best interests, and you cannot trust everybody, unfortunately. So I'll give you a few real examples of times I've overshared. A few examples that come to mind would be right after graduating university. You get the question a lot, oh, what are you going to do now? Like, what jobs are you going to do? Where are you going to work? What are you going to do with your degree? And stupidly, I would actually answer people and tell them everything. So I actually didn't know what I want to do, and I still am always figuring that out. And I realize you don't need to know everything about your life and have everything figured out, obviously. But at 21, 22 years old, I didn't know that. I thought, okay, everybody else seems to have their big jobs figured out, their whole life figured out, their career path figured out. I need to have a plan and make it look like I know what I'm talking about and have a plan. So I would tell people, obviously I've been into photography for many years, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do with that. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to start a wedding photography business. I started telling people yeah, I'm starting to do weddings and I'm going to do that and blah, blah, blah. And I was just telling people everything about that. And I think after I told people that, like, I felt like I didn't have to do the work to get there. I also realized quickly after doing a few weddings, like, okay, yeah, this is not for me. This is not the career path that I want. But I do regret kind of telling so many people that this is the path that I chose for myself and wanted to do, because I was so confident in it at the time, even though I wasn't actually confident in doing this. I just pretended like I was, and so that I would look more accomplished and like I had everything figured out and had my life set. But that wasn't true. I was faking it. Another example was when me and my sister got an RV a few years ago. We're telling everybody, yeah, we're going to go travel in it. We're going to live in it. We're going to go travel on the coast with it and camp in it. And that just didn't end up happening because it was kind of a rushed decision. We didn't realize how much other planning and saving we had to do in order to live that lifestyle. We also have 3 dogs, so living with 3 dogs in an RV, it was not realistic. Yeah, we kind of told people too early on because everybody was like, so what are you doing with this RV? What are your plans? And we kind of felt like we had to prove it to people. So that was a huge example there. Everything with the RV kind of just fell through after that. And yeah, we just didn't live up to what we told everybody and the expectations we put on ourselves. And the last example I'll give is just anytime I've posted about working on a project or working on something before I even started it or finished it. And I would post that on my story on my Instagram. I would post about the projects I'm currently working on, what I'm currently doing, what I want to finish, what I want to do. I would never follow through with them. I just wouldn't. Because I was like getting that validation from people. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Oh, no way, blah, blah, blah. It didn't happen. I just didn't do it. Anyways, those are some of my examples of oversharing. I have so many more because I've literally done this my whole life. What are some signs that you're oversharing? Some signs that you're oversharing is that you're talking over doing. You're not taking any action to actually do what you're talking about. Maybe you're telling everybody you want to run a marathon in the spring. But are you training to do that? Are you going for runs? Are you even running? Are you going to the gym? Anything like that, and you're just talking about it, like, yeah, I'm going to do a marathon. But it's like, you don't just run a marathon overnight. You have to work for that. You have to train for that. And maybe you're doing more talking than doing. Talking is just easier than actually doing the work. It is. And it feels good to talk about it. It feels good. It's easier. And you get validation from it. You get people going, wow, yeah, go you. Good for you. This is awesome. Before even doing the thing. Another sign is you tell people before even starting it. So that's what we were just talking about. You're telling people all these plans, what your goals are coming up, but have you even started it yet? You're like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I'm going to do this. Whether it's like doing a certain diet or working out every single day, or you want to make this amount of money, anything like that. Any goal you could have, it could be anything. And you're just talking about it before even starting it. And you're telling all these people before even starting the process of doing this goal. Another sign is that you feel a strong urge to tell everyone on the planet, not just close people, but also coworkers, and maybe you're telling social media too. And just like my personal stories I just told, this is exactly what I did and what I've done a lot of my life. I felt like I had to tell everybody, and not just people that were close in my life. Another sign that you're oversharing is that you rely on other people's reactions and opinions to stay motivated. If you're relying on how people react to the news of you wanting to go after a certain goal, and that is what's motivating you, not because you actually want to reach this goal for yourself, to prove to yourself that you can do it, not because it will make you happy for accomplishing that goal, then this is a sign that you're oversharing and not doing it for the right purposes. You're not actually wanting to reach this goal. You just want to tell other people about it and get that validation and rely on other people's opinions and their reactions. I'd say a huge example of this that unfortunately a lot of people will fall into this trap is going to a specific school or a specific program that would make their parents happy and proud. Not them, but their parents. So they tell their parents this, and they're looking for that validation, that reaction that they're looking for, like to make their parents proud, to make it seem like they're doing the right thing on the right pathway. And that's what motivates them, is because maybe it's something that looks good on paper and you want people to be proud of you and you just want to look good to people. You're relying on that external validation and those reactions. If they hype you up, you feel good and already accomplished. And if they doubt you or question you, then you stall and slow down, and then you're no longer motivated to go after your goal. Another sign is that you stop taking action after telling people because you feel like you already did the thing or did something and you feel satisfied with yourself. And that is why I stopped so many of my goals or things that I talked about with people, is because, well, I felt already accomplished. Like, I got this good reaction from somebody else, and subconsciously that felt good. I felt like I already did the goal and I don't need to do the work now and reach that goal. Another sign is that you ignore red flags or evil eye, such as oversharing with people who clearly don't have your best interest, and maybe they try to knock you down or compete with you. And then after, you don't feel really good about opening up to them about your goals, and then you feel like you have to prove it to them now, which is not a good reason at all to be doing a goal, first of all. Another sign is you end up regretting telling people your plans after, and you wish you never said anything and kept it all to yourself. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I wish I had kept things to myself, kept things just between me and the universe and nobody else, because it is only my damn business. So those are some of the signs that you might be oversharing. So why you should avoid oversharing too soon is because, one, it creates this false sense of accomplishment and it tricks your brain. It kind of like jinxes your brain into thinking like you already accomplished what you set out to do, what your goal was, what your plans are. Anything you set out to do, you get this false sense of accomplishment because you told people about it and you got this validation and you got their approval, and it feels like you already did it and now you don't need to do it anymore. And this can lead to a lack of following through with your plans and goals. And the amount of times that this has happened to me is actually ridiculous. I don't know why, but a lot of the times after I told people, I was like, I didn't feel that drive anymore to just do what I was talking about, because I was like, well, I already told people. I didn't feel the pressure to work on those goals anymore and do it because I felt I got that out of the way. I told people my plans and my goals, and it felt similar to actually finishing the goals. It's like a dopamine rush. You get this dopamine high and rush from telling people about what you want to do with your life. And ultimately, this ruins the trust with yourself because you made this goal for yourself. You wanted to do it. There's a reason why you wanted to do this goal. Maybe it wasn't for the right reasons and you learned that the hard way, but maybe you did truly want to reach a goal and you were truly excited about it and you were just a little bit too trusting of telling everybody, and then you told everybody and then you didn't follow through with the goal, you didn't do it, and now you're left disappointed in yourself, and now you ruin your trust with yourself because you didn't do something that you promised yourself you were going to do. I'm sure everybody at this point in time knows about evil eye and what it is. And if you don't know what evil eye, let me just give you a quick little definition. Evil eye is essentially someone who's projecting their jealousy or envy onto you. So if you tell somebody plans that are happy about yourself or exciting plans, and you don't feel like they're excited about you or happy for you, then that could be because they're sending you evil eye your way. It could be people looking at your social media or your stories or your posts and just not happy for you or wondering how you're doing that thing and questioning that. But basically what I want to talk about when it comes to evil eye is that not everybody has good intentions when it comes to you. Not everybody is rooting for you and wants the best for you. Or maybe they just don't agree with your goals and see the vision like you do. Like, who's going to believe in your goals the way that you do, the way that you see them? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you are the one that has the vision for your goals and what you see for yourself. Not everybody has your vision, just like you don't see the vision for their life. This might look like them questioning your ideas, and it will make you question them yourself as well. They might downplay your vision and your dreams. They may feel the need to compete with you or even feel jealous or envious. And you might end up convincing them of what you want to accomplish. And it becomes like a game of proving yourself to others. Maybe you told people about running a marathon and then they're like, what? How are you going to run a marathon? You don't even run. Right there, that puts doubt into you. That puts doubt into your mind. and plant seeds of doubt into your mind. And you're already questioning, yeah, maybe I can't run a marathon in a few months because I don't already run. So how am I going to do that? But had you just kept it to yourself and just did the work to reach this goal, you would have been able to, because you can do anything you set your mind to. That's the thing. It's all in our mind. Not everybody just sees the vision like you do and wants the best for you. So you need to have that in the back of your mind every time you share something with someone. Just always ask yourself, can I trust this person? And do they have good intentions with me? And will they understand my vision and my ideas? Will they make me question my ideas? Will they pull me back from my goals? So I definitely realized the power of keeping things to myself, moving in silence, and just being more private over the past few years after spending most of my life being someone that openly shares too much of my life and just has been a chronic oversharer and just has been an open book my entire life. I've learned that there's more power in just keeping things to myself. Whether it's my career goals, fitness goals, financial goals, any personal growth goals or health goals I've had for myself, I've learned that it's more powerful to keep those goals to myself. And what I've learned is that it creates a sacred and secret promise between you and the universe, or you and God, whatever you believe in. It creates like the special secret and bond between you and that source that only you know about. It's like this little secret between you guys. And it makes it so that you're only competing with yourself. You're not competing with anybody else in the world, because only you and the universe know about your goals. Not only are you only competing with yourself now, there's no competition, no ulterior motives from other people, but there's also less pressure to prove yourself to anyone or anything. And this makes it so that you're more likely to actually accomplish your goals and what you personally set out to do for yourself. If you actually want to reach your goals and do what you say you're going to do, then keep it between you and the universe, or you and God. And what happens when you do this is that it actually builds confidence within yourself and what you can achieve. And it builds this trust because you actually are doing what you say you will do. And it shows you that actions over words will give you the real results. Another thing that is important when it comes to making goals for yourself and setting out to accomplish those goals is to actually protect yourself and your goals. So something that a lot of people do is they set intentions for why they're doing something and what they actually want to achieve. So something that I've started to do is praying and speaking positively onto my goals. So saying affirmations or putting out my intentions with any goals that I have before I actually set out to do them. And a way that you can get clear on your goals is to write down your goals and have those clear plans with clear steps in mind as well. And if you really want to, or you need to, only tell people you actually trust and you can trust and have good intentions for you and will support you or be honest with you, then tell them if you really want to. But always ask yourself why you want to tell people about your goals and if their opinions will influence you in any way. Are you looking for approval from them, validation, or support? Ask yourself those things before you open up to people and tell them things. And only share if it's something you've already started and have a practical plan to finish. I'm going to give you a big example of how I've actually shifted my mindset on keeping goals, big goals to myself and kind of sticking to them. The biggest example I can think about is actually starting this podcast. So I've actually been wanting to do this podcast for a couple years now. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but I had the ideas going around in my mind before I even had a plan. And I think I started this planning process back in 2024. I was vlogging in my car and I was just like, you know what? I want to do a podcast. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I knew I wanted to call it I Don't Give a Care because of my brother. And I knew I wanted to talk about kind of anything and everything. Fast forward from summer of 2024 all the way to February 2025. I did a photo shoot. I did my first episode in my car. I did all of these things, but the problem is I was telling people in my life about it. I was talking about it. And then after that, I kind of psyched myself out. I was like, do I really want to do this right now in my life? I just never ended up doing it. And I wish I didn't tell people so soon. So fast forward to December of 2025, only a few months ago, I started planning this podcast again. I was like, okay, I didn't do it like I wanted to this year, but now I still can. This time I was like, you know what? If I want to truly do this podcast and I know I can do it, I have a plan, I have a vision, then I need to sit down and goddamn plan this thing. I need to plan out my vision and I need to not tell a soul about it. And that's exactly what I did. So from December until February, when I actually posted the podcast and announced it on my Instagram, I did not tell anybody about it. I didn't even tell my boyfriend about it because I wanted to make sure that I would stick to my goals. And it wasn't about not trusting anybody in my life about wanting to do this podcast. I didn't want anybody's opinions. I didn't want any second opinions. I didn't want any validation. I didn't want any outside noise distracting me from my goals. And I didn't want to tell people before actually doing it. So what I did was I had the photo shoot. I did my first episode. I planned everything about my podcast, all the little details, and then I posted about it. And it was a big surprise to some people in my life because they were like, whoa, I didn't know you were working on this. And that was just my example of something recently that was so foreign to me, because normally I would have been telling everybody about this. I would have been like, oh my God, look at what I'm working on or what I'm doing. I'm so excited to do this. Oh, what are your thoughts? What are you doing? Like, I'm someone that always needs to have like other people's opinions, and I suck at making decisions a lot of the time. It was really hard to keep it to myself. I'm not going to lie. But after I did that all by myself and just going through with it, following through with it, I was so proud of myself. And I was like, you know what? I can do things by myself. I don't need other people's opinions. I don't need other people's validation. And you can do little things here and there. Like I remember I posted on my story and I showed a little behind the scenes and I was like, ooh, I'm working on something, but I didn't give anything away. So that was kind of my way of like secretly sharing with the world, even though I know nobody actually really probably cares, but like it was mostly for me because I wanted to talk about it. I was like, I just want to do this already. But there were so many things in the background that I was doing for this podcast and working on. There was just so much work that I put into it that I was like, okay, I really just want to tell somebody. I want to post about it and talk about it already because I was just so damn excited about it. But I ultimately decided to keep it to myself and just not tell a soul. So yeah, if there's any huge goals you have in your life, does not matter what it is, try keeping it to yourself. Try committing to just having that secret with yourself in the universe and doing and finishing the goal and then telling people after, and just see how you feel. I promise you, you will feel better. You'll have more trust with yourself. You will be proud of yourself. You will be happy that maybe for once you just kept something to yourself, because I know I was super happy about doing that. There's power in keeping things to yourself and just being more private and protecting yourself and your goals. So what I've learned after all of this is that sometimes our goals are actually more exciting in theory or in the planning stage. And that's kind of why we're so excited to tell everybody. That's why we're so eager to just tell someone and get that news out there, what we're working on, what we plan on doing, what our goals are. It's just so exciting in theory, right? But the hard work, the hard discipline is not as exciting. It takes a lot of courage to follow through with things and to keep those promises to yourself. And I've also learned that sometimes it's better to just keep your goals to yourself because it pushes you to have the right intentions with why you're doing these goals, why you're setting these goals for yourself and pushing yourself to go after them, to have the discipline and to actually create action and direction for your goals without the added pressure and the outside opinions that can sometimes sway you off your path. And just remember that the universe is always working with you to help you reach your dreams and that it is the only validation you truly need. They are always right there with you, believing in you, and you don't need anybody else's opinions or validation. You just need yourself and the universe's. And that sacred bond you have together, they are always rooting for you and have your back. And before we end things right here, let me just leave you with this quote that I love. And I've been seeing it everywhere lately, but it is such a good quote. I've seen a few different versions of it, but let me just leave you with this. Are you climbing the mountain for the world to see you, or for you to see the world? All right. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the I Don't Give a Care podcast. If you're new here, I would so appreciate if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, or if you followed me on Spotify, maybe left a review and what you thought of this, and maybe anything you want to hear me talk about in the future. I would really appreciate that. So thank you for joining me, and I can't wait to see you for another episode next week. And on Wednesdays, we don't give a care. Bye.